Hi there! Today we are setting up my book journal for 2026. I'm really looking forward to doing this. I'm going to work in this beautiful Archer and Olive notebook. It is a dot grid and it is in a size, what is the size again? A5. I always get them mixed up because I used to work in a size B5, but I prefer this size for my book journals. Now I'm starting off with this cover spread, which as usual with me is this kind of collage thing that I'm doing. This year I chose to work with the colors red and green and adding some white and gold in there. I guess I was inspired by the Christmas colors, but I did not want this book to feel like a Christmas book because of course it has to last me throughout the year. But I was definitely influenced to use those colors. As you can see here, I'm also adding my reading resolutions for this year. I only have 3. The first of which is to read at least 50 books this year. I'm on the way to reaching my goal of 70 books this year, but I feel like I had to push myself a little bit. So I'm keeping it to 50 for next year. Then I have decided to read more series in 2026, which I'll be explaining a bit more about later in this journal. And then I have to read my unreads of 2025, which comes down to about 12 books that I was disappointed not being able to finish in 2025. Moving on to my next spread, which is my bookshelf. I am not actually drawing out a bookshelf as a lot of people do. Because I feel like I'm not sure if I will fill out all those books that you draw in. Here I'm pointing out the elf because it was lying on my desk. And I actually wanted to ask you guys any tips or anything because my elf likes to hide in different places in the house. He doesn't really like any pranks and I'm looking for inspiration to tell the elf where to hide for my little girl. So how am I tackling this bookshelf idea? I think I'm thinking about printing out really small versions of the book covers of all the books that I'll be reading and then pasting them in. So I have this overview on one page of all the books that I read in a year. But that way I'd be sure to fit them all in there. Now the next pages that I'll be making are my overviews. It is this main overview in which I write down the number of book that I read, so which book that I'm at, if it is the 10th book or the 12th book or whatever that I'm reading that year. I can write down the author, I can write down the title, and then I also write down the star rating that I'm giving that book. So as you can see here, I gave myself a lot of space, more than those 50 books that I was talking about, because we can be hopeful, right, that we read more than we expect to read. Moving on to my next spread, which are my graphs. I'm making 2 graphs this year. The first one is my books per month graph, so I can just indicate how many books I read each month and see if any of those months are particularly good for reading for me or if any of them decidedly fell flat. And then my other graph that I made is books per rating, so how many books got 1 star, how many books got 5 stars and things like that. Last year I also made a graph for how many books I read for each genre, but I feel like I'm not really using any of that information for this year, so I'm leaving that one out this year. And then my next spreads are ones that I've done already in 2025 as well, which are my page for my top 10 reads of the year and my page for my bottom 10 reads of the year. I still have to fill those out for 2025. As I said before, I am still hopeful to read some more books by the end of the year. We're not quite there yet, so I'll probably fill those in at the beginning of January, and then I'll be filling these in at the beginning of January 2027. Yeah. I'm liking my decoration, by the way. I was having a lot of fun with my color scheme. Then my next page is my year of series page. I am planning to put in either small covers or maybe just like titles and checklists of all the series that I want to read this year. I am planning to work with my series jar. So each month I am drawing the title of a series out of my to be read series jar. Because I have so many series on my shelves and I never tend to start them because I always feel like then I am obligated to read everything, but I have to be a little less strict about that for myself. It's not because you start a series that you have to like it and that you have to read all the books in that series. So yeah, that is my project for the upcoming year. And then we get to my 12 must-reads, which I also mentioned before. So in 2025 I made to-be-reads for each month. And then I did not finish all the books on those to-be-reads. And then for each month I put aside the book that I regretted most not reading in that month. So that way I end up with 12 must-reads for the upcoming year, which I'll be pasting in once December is finished, because I still have to finish or find out what my most regretted book for December might be. I already moved on to my new releases page. This is like a calendar where I can write down which books are set to be released in which month. So I am aware and I can prepare either to buy these or to decide if I actually want these or not. I am about to be interrupted by my cat, as you can see. This is Nikki. She wanted to be in the shot because this is what cats do. When you're working at your desk, they want attention and they want to be the center of attention. So please enjoy some shots of my cat being a total menace. Alright, she found something else to do, so I could continue working. Alright, I finished the new releases page, and then I moved on to my last page of this journal, which is about authors. So I want to make a list of authors to check, which means that these are authors that I either have already read something from and I want to read something else by them, or that I've heard good things about and I haven't read anything by them yet. And besides that one, I also wanted to make a little list of authors to complete, because in my my main book journal, like my permanent journal that runs with me throughout all the years, I make little lists of authors that I want to read everything by. So I'm still very hopeful to this year complete the works of Claire Keegan, for example, and then other authors that I would love to be able to complete, hopefully maybe in 2026, but you know, I'm not going to hit myself over the head if it doesn't happen. Would, for example, be Frederick Bachman, or Ava Reid, or Taylor Jenkins Reid, or who was the other one? Janice Hallett, the one who writes mystery novels, which are kind of interesting to me because she uses a lot of mixed media. I'm looking it up here in like my permanent bullet journal to show you. Alright, I'm running through this to make some quick little touch-ups. I'm doing some extra shading or filling out some blank spaces with some more of those stickers that I liked. And I'll be at the beginning of this journal soon, so I can show you my final flip through. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like, subscribe, and I hope to see you soon in another video. Bye!